So it seems like you're on a quest for better sleep. You sent us some interesting articles about yoga.
Yeah, looks like it.
And this one from the ZOJX yoga blog, How to Do Yoga for Better Sleep.
Right?
Seems like a pretty good place to start. So we're going to dive into that today and see if yoga really can help you catch those Z's. Hopefully by the end of this, we'll all be feeling zen and ready for a nap
Yeah.
ourselves.
Indeed. And what's interesting is you're not alone in this quest for better sleep.
Right.
The National Institutes of Health, they actually did a study
Oh, wow.
and found that 59% of people
Wow.
reported better sleep after doing bedtime yoga.
59%. That's a lot of people.
It is. It's a pretty compelling statistic.
It is. But were there any details in the study about, who saw the most improvement? Like, was it people with specific sleep issues?
That's a great question.
Mm.
Unfortunately, the source material that you sent doesn't really delve into those specifics,
Okay.
but it does highlight the overall positive impact
Right.
yoga can have on sleep. And it seems to work because it combines deep breathing, meditation, and gentle movement, which, as you can imagine, really helps calm the mind and the body.
Okay, I get the breathing and the meditation part, but honestly, I always thought exercise before bed would keep me up. How does moving your body actually help you sleep?
Think about it this way. Throughout the day,
Yeah.
we build up tension,
Yeah.
both mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga helps release that.
Right?
And when your body feels physically relaxed,
Yeah.
it signals to your brain
Yeah.
that it's safe to start winding down.
I can see how that would work. So it's like giving your body permission to relax.
Exactly.
So are we talking about intense yoga here? Because I'm not sure I'm up for that right
Yeah.
before bed.
Not at all. The ZOJX article focuses on gentle poses
Okay.
and emphasizes the importance of listening to your body.
Okay.
You don't want to strain or injure yourself.
Right.
In fact, they even mention checking with your doctor first,
At home.
especially if you have any health conditions or
Yeah.
are pregnant.
Yeah. Safety first. Now, the article highlights 6 specific poses for sleep. Should we jump into those?
Absolutely, and we can group them by how they benefit sleep.
Okay.
Some are calming, while others focus on releasing tension in specific areas that can disrupt sleep.
Okay.
Let's start with the calming ones.
Sounds good to me. Which pose kicks us off in the calm down category?
The first one is standing forward bend, or Uttanasana.
Okay.
Imagine standing tall
Mm-hmm.
and then bending forward from the hips, reaching towards your toes.
Right.
It's like giving yourself a big hug, which the ZOGX article says can be really helpful for easing anxiety and quieting racing thoughts before bed.
I do love a good hug. I'm picturing this pose now, and it already feels relaxing. But I have to admit, I'm not the most flexible person. Would I still benefit even if I can't touch my toes?
Absolutely. It's not about how far you can bend,
Okay.
but about the feeling of release and surrender
Mm-hmm.
in the pose. The ZooJX article actually encourages modifications for all poses
Oh,
to suit your body's needs.
that's reassuring. So no pressure to be a yoga pro. What's the next calming pose on the list?
Let's move into a seated pose. This one is called head of the knee pose, or Janu Sirsasana,
Okay.
and it involves sitting with one leg extended and the other bent with the sole of your foot against your inner thigh. Then you bend forward towards the extended foot.
I've actually tried something similar to that in a stretching class before. It felt really good, especially in my hips. Is that one of the benefits for sleep?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This pose is wonderful for releasing tension in the hips and lower back, which can often keep us from getting comfortable and falling asleep.
Yeah.
Plus, the forward bend encourages that sense of letting go that we talked about.
I'm sensing a theme here. Forward bends equal relaxation.
Yes.
So we've got 2 calming forward bends. What's the final pose in this group?
The last one in this category is seated forward bend, or Paschimottanasana.
Okay.
It's similar to the previous pose, but with both legs extended straight out in front.
Okay.
You inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale as you bend forward, keeping your spine straight.
I'm curious about this one. Does it matter if you can actually reach your toes or not? I'm imagining a lot of hamstring strain if you force it.
You've hit on a key point. The ZOJX article stresses that you should never force a pose. It's more about the journey than the destination.
Right.
Even if you only bend a little, you'll still experience the benefits, especially if you focus on maintaining a long spine and deep breaths.
So it's really about the feeling and the breath, not achieving some perfect shape.
I like that. Okay, so we've covered 3 poses focused on calming the mind and body. What's next?
Now let's shift gears and explore poses that target specific areas of tension that can disrupt sleep. starting with a pose that focuses on the back.
I'm all ears. I often wake up with a stiff back, so I'm definitely interested in this one.
This pose is called locust pose or salapasana.
Okay.
It involves lying on your belly and gently lifting your chest and legs, strengthening your back.
Okay, I'm picturing it. But how does a stronger back translate to better sleep?
Well, think about it. Yeah. A strong back helps prevent aches and pains that might keep you up at night.
Right.
The ZOJX article explains that even subtle back pain can disrupt your sleep cycle.
That makes sense. Aches and pains are definitely sleep saboteurs. All right, what's the next pose on our tension-releasing journey? So we've got this back-strengthening pose to combat those pesky aches and pains. What other areas of tension should we target for better sleep?
The next pose addresses something that can be a real sleep stealer, tension in the hips. It's called reclining bound angle pose or Supta Baddha Konasana.
Okay, that name sounds a bit intimidating. What exactly does it involve?
Don't worry, it's actually a very relaxing pose. You lie on your back with the soles of your feet together, allowing your knees to fall open to the sides. You can even use pillows or blankets under your knees for support. That sounds more like a recipe for a nap than a yoga pose. But how does it help with sleep?
It's all about opening up the hips and chest, which can get really tight from sitting all day. And this tightness can make it hard to get comfortable in bed.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I spend way too much time hunched over a computer, so opening up those areas might actually make a difference.
Exactly. And the ZOJX article mentions that this pose also gently stimulates the digestive and reproductive systems. So it's not just physical tension it addresses, but also internal processes that can impact sleep.
Okay, that's fascinating. So it's like a multitasking pose for better sleep. Now, is there one more pose that specifically targets tension?
Yes, the last one before we move on is called wind relieving pose or Pawan Muktasana. And yes, the name is quite literal.
Wind relieving. Okay, that's a new one for me. I'm intrigued, but also slightly terrified. What exactly happens in this pose?
It's much simpler than it sounds. You lie on your back and bring your knees towards your chest, hugging them with your arms. It's like giving yourself a gentle abdominal massage.
Huh. Okay, that actually sounds pretty cozy. And I guess I can see how relieving any trapped gas might help you sleep better. But are there any other benefits beyond that?
Absolutely. While the name might be a bit off-putting, this pose is incredibly effective for improving digestion and reducing bloating. The ZOJX article points out that digestive discomfort is a common sleep disruptor. So by calming the digestive system, you're setting the stage for a more restful night.
I never thought about the connection between digestion and sleep, but it makes sense. It's like everything needs to be in harmony for good sleep to happen.
Precisely. And speaking of harmony, there's one more pose we need to discuss. Savasana, also known as corpse pose.
Ah, yes, Savasana. I've heard about this one. Isn't it basically just lying there doing nothing? I have to admit, I struggle to see how that's beneficial.
It might seem counterintuitive, but Savasana is often considered the most important pose in yoga, especially when it comes to sleep.
Really? More important than all those twists and bends. Why is that?
Because it's in the stillness of Savasana that we truly allow our bodies to enter a state of deep rest. It's about consciously letting go of all effort, both physical and mental.
I can see how that ties into the whole idea of giving your body permission to relax. But I'm someone who's always thinking, always planning. How do you actually turn your brain off in Savasana?
It's not so much about turning your brain off as it is about shifting your awareness. The ZOJX article suggests focusing on your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your abdomen as you breathe naturally. You can also do a body scan meditation, bringing your attention to each part of your body, noticing any sensations without judgment.
So it's about observing rather than engaging with the thoughts that pop up. I guess that makes sense. But how long are you supposed to stay in Savasana? Is there an optimal amount of time for sleep benefits?
The ZOJX article recommends aiming for at least 5 minutes, but 10 to 15 minutes is even better if you have the time. The longer you stay, the more deeply your body can relax. It's like a mini vacation for your mind and body.
A mini vacation sounds amazing. Okay, so we've covered all the poses from the ZOJX article, from calming forward bends to hip openers, and even that intriguing wind-relieving pose.
And we've delved into the importance of Savasana, the ultimate relaxation pose. But the ZOJX article offers more than just poses. They also provide some helpful tips for creating a sleep-enhancing yoga practice.
I'm all ears. What kind of tips are we talking about?
They emphasize the importance of consistency. It's not about doing a long yoga session once in a while, but about incorporating even a short practice into your routine regularly. Even 10, 15 minutes a day can make a difference.
That's good to know. I can definitely commit to 10 minutes a day. What else do they suggest?
They also talk about the importance of setting the mood. You know, dim the lights, light some candles, maybe use some calming essential oils like lavender.
Yeah.
Make your practice space feel like a sanctuary for relaxation.
I love that. It's like creating a ritual for better sleep. I can already picture myself in a dimly lit room surrounded by candles, breathing deeply.
And don't forget about comfortable clothes and a soft yoga mat or blanket. It's all about creating a cozy and inviting space where you can truly let go.
This is making me want to roll out my yoga mat right now. But before I do, I'm curious, is there anything else in the ZooJX article that stood out to you as a particularly helpful for better sleep?
One thing that struck me is their advice for dealing with those inevitable nights when sleep just doesn't come easily.
Oh, tell me more about that. I'm definitely familiar with those frustrating nights of tossing and turning.
Instead of getting anxious and frustrated, they recommend getting out of bed and doing a few gentle yoga poses. They specifically mention child's pose and legs up the wall pose as being particularly calming and restorative.
So it's like having a sleep toolkit to pull out when insomnia strikes. I like that idea.
And they remind us that even if you don't fall asleep right away after doing these poses, you're still giving your body and mind a chance to relax and de-stress.
That's a good point. Sometimes it's about shifting the focus from forcing sleep to simply allowing relaxation to happen. But I'm wondering, did they mention anything about the best time of day to do these poses for sleep?
They suggest practicing in the evening, ideally an hour or two before bed. It helps create a buffer between the day's activities and bedtime, allowing you to wind down gradually.
That makes perfect sense. It's like signaling to your body that it's time to shift gears. I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. The poses, the breathing, the calming atmosphere, the consistency. It's really a holistic approach to better sleep.
Exactly. And that brings us back to that initial statistic from the NIH study. While we don't have all the details, it's clear that a significant number of people found that incorporating yoga into their routine led to better sleep.
It's pretty.
You're not alone there. Noise is a common sleep disruptor. In fact, the ZOJX article actually mentions something called Yoga Nidra, which is a guided meditation technique that can be particularly helpful for people who are sensitive to noise or have trouble quieting their minds.
Yoga Nidra. That's a new one for me. Tell me more about it. What makes it different from regular meditation?
In Yoga Nidra, you're guided through a series of visualizations and body awareness exercises while lying in Savasana. It's designed to induce a state of deep relaxation that's often described as being between waking and sleeping.
So it's like a supercharged savasana.
Exactly. And because it involves focusing on the guide's voice and the visualizations, it can help drown out external noises and distractions.
That sounds incredibly appealing, especially for someone like me who lives in a noisy city. I'm definitely going to look into Yoga Nidra. This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening. I feel like I have a much better understanding of how yoga can help with sleep, and I'm excited to start incorporating some of these poses and techniques into my routine.
I'm glad to hear that. And remember, the key is to find what works best for you. Experiment with different poses, times of day, and even the atmosphere you create for your practice.
That's great advice. It's all about making yoga your own. And you know what? I'm even feeling a bit more zen right now just talking about it. Maybe all this yoga talk is rubbing off on me.
Wow, it's been fascinating exploring all these poses and techniques for better sleep. And I have to say, just talking about yoga has such a calming effect. I'm starting to feel a little sleepy myself.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Even just discussing these practices, can help shift our awareness towards relaxation and well-being.
So true. But we've covered a lot of ground here. The science behind yoga for sleep, specific poses to try, the importance of creating a calming atmosphere, and listening to your body.
Yeah, we also touched on the significance of consistency and yoga nidra for those who struggle with noise or racing thoughts. And remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to yoga. It's about exploration and discovery. Absolutely. It's about finding what works for you and making it your own. Before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you, the listener, with a challenge and a thought to ponder.
Oh, sounds intriguing. What do you have in mind?
Okay, so the challenge is this. Choose one pose from the ZOJX article that speaks to you and commit to practicing it for at least 5 minutes every day for a week. Pay attention to how you feel before and after the pose and notice if it impacts your sleep quality.
I love that challenge. It's a great way to put this knowledge into action and experience the benefits firsthand.
Exactly. And the thought to ponder is this. If our bodies naturally know how to relax and sleep, what can yoga teach us about listening to our own internal cues?
That's a powerful question. It invites us to go beyond the physical poses and explore the deeper wisdom that yoga offers. a wisdom that extends far beyond the realm of sleep.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into yoga for better sleep. We hope you've enjoyed this exploration and that you'll take these insights with you on your journey toward more restful nights. Sweet dreams.